So here's a car payment example. These numbers are going to be slightly different in the assignment. So what we're going to do first is we're going to calculate the car payment. So let's make the loan $14,000. And it'll be, let's make it, the T is the number of years, so let's make it a 6-year loan. And therefore C is equal to the number of payments, which is going to be 12 times 6, so 72 payments. And typically you're given an interest rate. Actually, C is not 72, and it's 72. So that's the number of payments, years times 12. Okay, the yearly interest rate is going to be, let's say, 8%. So we need to figure out what the monthly interest rate, so that's what C is. And we're going to use the decimal equivalent. So decimal equivalent of 8% is 0.08 divided by 12, and that'll be 0.0066 repeated. Okay. And the reason I know that is if you divide by 12, you're going to get one more 0 in there, and 8/12 is simplifies down to 2/3, which is 0.666. Okay. So I think that's all we need to do this calculation. So we'll have 14,000 times C, 0.0066 times 1 plus 0.0066 to the 72nd power, all divided by 1 plus 0.0066. And ultimately, when I do this, I'm going to put in 2/3 so they get a more accurate answer. As I said, for your case, we will give you the payment. You won't have to do this, but you'll at least know where it came from. Okay, so let's pause for just a second while I do this calculation. There's no point in hanging around. Okay, so if you do the calculation, you get $245.47, which seems reasonable, for a car payment. So now what we'll do is we'll take that information and make our spreadsheet. And again, yours is going to be different, but you should be able to figure it out. So you'll have the same columns. The first one is the month. The second column is the balance. Third column is the interest. Fourth column is the payment. And the fifth column is the excess. So the first thing you'll do is just put 0 and 1, and then you'll copy this however many spaces you need to get, however many months I tell you. So in this case, this example was 72 months. So I'm going to drag this down to slightly past 72, probably like 74. Okay. And you can see I got that. So if you go back to the beginning, it looks like you've got 1 for the label, and then you take 7. We start at 2, and so to get to 72 we add, so we'll add 2 to whatever the number of months is, and then you drag it down far enough to get to the bottom, which is I think cell 74. Okay, so there's 72 payments. So we start out with the balance. So in our case, for my example, it's 14,000. My interest, we don't do anything the first month. So first thing we do is just put the balance in. That's our initial loan amount. Then we come to interest. So we figure out how much interest we charge for borrowing $14,000 for a month. So that's equal to the amount we borrowed. So that's B2 times the interest rate. And this is the monthly interest rate. So we take the yearly interest rate, which I said was 8%, right? So 0.08. So whatever you have, 6%, put 0.06, divide by 12. That'll get us into the monthly interest rate. So we always divide by 12 because it's always 12 months per year. 0.0 something, depending upon the yearly interest rate. Okay, so that's the interest. The payment is what we calculated, and I'll give to you, 245.47. So whatever I give to you, 245.57, I think it was. 245.47. Okay, let's try that again. 245.47, and that's going to stay constant. And the excess is just going to be the difference between the payment and the interest. So we take equals, click on the payment, subtract the interest. That's how much we paid more. So what we can do is we can decrease the balance. So don't put 14,000, click on the cell, whatever the balance is, and then subtract the excess. And we don't have to worry about dollar signs or anything. So our balance is $13,847.86. So this is an equation, this is an equation, this is a value, this is an equation. And they're all relative to the previous value. So here we take this value and take 0.08 divided by 12. So when we copy this formula down, we'll have this value to reference it. Then this one just stays set the same, and this one is based upon that value, but that will be calculated before that value, so we should be good. And then we'll this value depends upon that value, so it all works out. So we just highlight the 4 elements, grab the corner, drag down till we get down to 72 months, or however many months I give you in this problem. It won't be 72 because I want you to do something different. So we keep going here. And you should come to a balance. It's pretty small. The only thing else that we need to do is just to change the format. So these are just in numbers, but we can change that to dollars. So what we'll do is we'll go from this cell, the one the balance, go to the right, then drag down till we highlight all the numbers that are dollars. We don't need to highlight the months. We don't need a decimal month. So do that. Go to Format, Number, and we'll pick Currency. So that gives us dollars, has a comma for thousands, and a decimal point for cents. And so you see we end up with overpaying by 43 cents. And if we were to pay 245.46 instead of 47, then we'd underpay by like 20 some cents. So the last payment would actually be for a little bit less than 245. And really this last entry is irrelevant. No, didn't like that. Maybe it isn't irrelevant. I guess it's not irrelevant. Okay, so we'll just leave it in there. Yeah, that's because if we had a new balance here, that would be irrelevant. But in this case, you know, our balance is 243.42, and our payment is 245. Yeah, we had to pay $1.62 interest on 243.42. So our excess was 243.85, and because that is greater than the balance, we end up with a negative. Okay, so that's it. All you have to do is, and then you can email it to me. So, you know, File, Emails, and Attachment. Choose Excel format. Put my name in here. Make sure your name's on the spreadsheet so I know who it's from, and then just say Send. So I'm going to do that just so you can see how it works. So S. Nicholson at dslcc.edu. If you save this, it'll have a name, but write it in here because I forgot to put a name on mine. Send. That's it.